Hello, and welcome back to the Nasty Metal Productions channel here at YouTube, and welcome to another Album of the Week video. This is episode number 209. Today's episode, I will be putting a spotlight on This Means War, the classic third album from the legendary new wave of British heavy metal power trio, Tank. Originally released on June 10th via both Music for Nations and Roadrunner Records, the first for those labels. Well, technically, even though I was planning on spotlighting this on its anniversary, it came at a heavy shock that weeks before I got to do this, Algy Ward had passed away on May 17th. So this episode has now turned into a special tribute to the late great Algy Ward, the founder of Tank. So with all that said, let's begin. By the year 1983, things were not so easy for the band. The sales for Power of the Hunter were rather poor, and their popularity on the scene was beginning to decrease. To make things even worse, Camouflage Records collapsed, leaving the band without a label. To reinforce things, the band had recruited a new member into the ranks, welcome then ex, Axis and ex-White Spirit member Mick Tucker, this time making Tank a quartet, which by result brought in a new dimension into Tank's bombastic brand of metal. By this point, Tank began to search out for a new record label. Thus comes in Music for Nations, who ultimately signs the band. With now at their new home on Music for Nations, the band begins to write and record their third album. With producer John Verity, who is best known for producing Saxon's 1979 debut, the band had recorded about 9 tracks, with only 7 being chosen, with the extras being The Man That Never Was and the very cheeky titled Which Cat Chewed My Cuckoo being used as B-sides to the 12-inch single for Echoes of a Distant Battle. Of course, by 1984, the French label Barnett Records had released the album with a different cover illustration, as you can see right now, but also adding an 8th track to the album, the rather atmospheric battle march like Swap.io. So, here we go. On to the actual album. So featuring 7 tracks, clocking in at the length of 39 minutes and 59 seconds, these 7 tracks are, well, beginning with Just Like Something from Hell, Hot Lead Cold Steel, the title track, Laughing in the Face of Death, parentheses If We Go down fighting, parentheses, won't ever let you down, and then finally ending with Echoes of a Distant Battle. So there we go, there's your 7 tracks. All I can say is, this album rules. Just like the situation for Motorhead on Another Perfect Day, but here, Mick Tucker's more melodic touches were actually praised. And what it resulted is an album that, to this day, is considered one of Tank's best albums. Now, I know that it is almost a stretch, given that there are some folks out there who are not really, or were not really, as keen to the slight change in direction on here, but to me, I think they made everything work. It has that same Motorhead-like approach that you got on the previous 2 albums, but you can hear it come across as more epic in its attack. If Another Perfect Day was a great combination of Thin Lizzy and Motorhead, then Tank's This Means War is like a combination of Rainbow and Motorhead. like if Richie Blackmore had joined Motorhead, which this is mostly due to Mick Tucker's style, which coming off of a band like White Spirit, one of the more infamous Deep Purple-ish bands to come out of the whole new wave or British heavy metal movement, who are also best known for having Yannick Gers. Both guys had that Blackmore-ish style to them, so it's no secret why Tank's sound began to adopt these leanings here. Just take one listen to the opening song, Just Like Something from Hell, and you'll hear why. But there are plenty of prime Tank bangers to be found here, like Laughing in the Face of Death, which is a lean, mean barn burner. The title track, which is a cool mixture of Tank's classic sound fused in with that, well, with Mick Tucker's more melodic structuring. And then of course Hot Lead Cold Steel, which is a fun rocker. Then there is Echoes of a Distant Battle, which has that new epic quality to it. Then you of course get songs like parentheses If We Go Down Fighting, and I parentheses Won't Ever Let You Down, which both have a slight AC/DC vibe to them with their sort of very catchy, very hooky, sort of almost bordering on radio-friendly hard rock nature. Again, not too far off from the type of hard rock structuring that you were getting on, like, let's say an album like Power of the Hunter, but again, it's just, it does kind of add the album, I guess, a little bit more of a new dynamic to it, and it makes things for a really more variety, you know, in the album's approach, and it's not always the same thing, so it kind of keeps the listener very interested in what's going on within the album and want to kind of hear what else is going to come up. So it just has those kind of qualities to this record. So all in all, it really rounds this album out as sort of dynamic, like I've just been stating here, but pulled off so nicely. This album was my true introduction to Tank. I may have heard him through seeing the Honor and Blood album cover, but it was the song Just Like Something from Hell that instantly sold me. Cause after the sci-fi-like synth intro, once it got going into the song, it came off like a nuclear explosion. It just sold me, and from there I had to listen to more Tank, to which I needed to track down those Tank albums, and by my birthday of 2010, my mom had gotten me the Filth Hounds of Hades, Dogs of War, 1981 to 2002 box set. I was one satisfied kid, and right now, I still have that set. I got it with me right now. Hell, I got my copy of This Means War from that box set out right now, right in front of me while I'm recording this, because this is what I used to read off of the track listing, because it's off of my actual copy of the album. Again, the CD copy from the box set. So 40 years for This Means War. However, yesterday also saw Algy Ward's birthday, who would have been 64 years old. So in honor of Algy Ward, blast this album, and in general, blast some Tank. So with that, this is Heavy Thrash Jazz saying I'm out, and I'll see you all later. Take care everyone, and rock in peace to Algy Ward of Tank. Thanks for bringing all the good memories. Thanks for leaving such a legacy of great albums, great music, and just a lot of enjoyment. Take care.